हेलो, टेस्टबुक सुपर आईएएस में आप सबका फिर से एक बार बहुत बहुत स्वागत है। टुडे विल बी डिस्कसिंग अ न्यूज विच स्टेट्स दैट ईरान में अर्ज इंडिया टू रीस्टार्ट ऑयल इंपोर्ट। अब ये न्यूज बहुत ज्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट हो जाती है। क्यों? क्योंकि ऑन फ्राइडे दैट इज ऑन 16th of September 2022 SCO meet, Shanghai Cooperation Organization meet is scheduled to be conducted, and this year we have a new member added to the SCO, which is Iran. And it is speculated that the Indian Prime Minister and the Iranian President would meet on the sidelines of this SCO meet and discuss about restarting oil imports from Iran. So let us, in the context of this particular news, let us understand what has been the history of India-Iran oil trade. So things were going on very well till the year 2015. 2015 तक चीजें बहुत अच्छी जा रही थी, पर 2015 में एक अग्रीमेंट साइन होता है जिसका नाम है जॉइंट कॉम्प्रिहेंसिव प्लान ऑफ एक्शन, जिसे बहुत फेमसली ईरान न्यूक्लियर डील भी कहा जाता है। ओके, नाउ दिस पर्टिकुलर JCPOA वाज साइंड बाय P5+1 नेशंस, मतलब जो आपके यूनाइटेड नेशन सिक्योरिटी काउंसिल के 5 परमानेंट मेंबर्स है प्लस जर्मनी, ये P5+1 और ईरान के साथ ये डील साइन की गई थी। एंड दिस डील वाज अबाउट हाउ ईरान विल स्लोली एंड स्टेडीली कम बॉयल डाउन इट्स न्यूक्लियर एनरिचमेंट प्रोग्राम। धीरे धीरे वो अपना न्यूक्लियर प्रोग्राम कैसे कम करेगा, इसके बारे में ये डील थी। But and now this deal was signed under the aegis of the President Barack Obama. But in 2018, when Donald Trump came into power, Donald Trump withdrew USA from this particular agreement and he imposed sanctions on Iran. Now, when the moment USA had imposed sanctions on Iran, at that point of time USA का जो एक law है जिसका नाम है Countering America's Adversaries Through Sanctions Act, कैटसा, ये पर्टिकुलर लॉ प्ले में आ गया। तो दिस पर्टिकुलर लॉ शॉर्ट में ये कहता है कि अगर कोई भी नेशन, अगर कोई भी अन्य देश ईरान के साथ अगर कोई भी किसी भी प्रकार का ट्रेड रिलेशंस रखता है तो यूएसए उस देश के ऊपर भी सैंक्शंस लगा सकती है। दिस इज सिंपल व्हाट कैटसा लॉ इज। ओके, नाउ बिकॉज ऑफ दिस पर्टिकुलर कैटसा लॉ, इंडिया स्लोली एंड स्टेडीली started to minimize its imports from Iran, and slowly the oil imports from Iran came down to zero. Today we import no oil from Iran. But before 2019, India was second largest oil market from Iran for Iran after China. After China, India was the second largest oil market for Iran. Okay. Now, in the context of this particular news, Iran has told India that in the midst of the Russia-Ukraine war, even USA has imposed sanctions on Russia, but still you are importing oil from Russia in spite of sanctions being there on Russia. So why are you not importing oil from us? So this is the question which the two leaders are going to discuss on Friday, it is of course speculated that they are going to discuss on this particular issue on Friday. What interest of India lies in Iran? So the very first interest is oil. Now, we all know that India is an energy deficient nation. Almost 80% of our crude oil requirements are imported. We import most of our oil. Now, Iran is a nation which is supplying India crude oil at a very cheaper rate. So therefore, if we restart our oil imports from Iran, we may get crude oil at a very cheaper rate, which may cut down our trade deficit. This is the very first interest that India has in Iran. After this, the second interest is the Chabahar port. Now, the location of Chabahar port is very, very important for us to understand. Chabahar port opens in the Gulf of Oman, and it is strategically located very, very close to the Strait of Hormuz. This is the Strait of Hormuz. Also, somewhere here you have the Gwadar port of Pakistan, which is developed by China. So Chabahar has proximity to the Gwadar port as well. Apart from that, Chabahar provides India an alternative route to Afghanistan, because by land, if India wants to go to Afghanistan, you have Pakistan which is acting as a big blockade. But by sea route, this Chabahar port provides India access to Afghanistan. So this is the second important point with respect to Chabahar port. Apart from that, the fact of the matter is that we had to develop the Chabahar-Zahedan railway line. Okay, the development of this particular railway line has also not taken up the pace which was required. Okay, so therefore the development of Chahabad port is also of great significance, which and this particular issue may also be discussed between the two leaders. Now Farzad B gas field is also very important when it comes to India-Iran relations, because first of all its location, which is in the Persian Gulf. Now this particular Farzad B gas field was discovered by the ONGC Videsh Limited in the year 2008, and it is estimated that this particular gas field has gas reserves of up to more than 19 trillion cubic feet. Okay, now the development of this Farzad B gas field and all the formalities were almost 75% completed by May 2018. But 2018 में जब जैसे ही ईरान के ऊपर सैंक्शंस लग जाते हैं वापस, तब से इस फरजाद बी गैस फील्ड पर इंडिया के जो डेवलपमेंट का स्टेटस था वो भी धीरे धीरे डिक्लाइन हो गया. एंड फाइनली दिस ईयर Iran gave the development of this particular gas field to a local company which is called as Petropars. Okay, Iran gave the Farzad B gas field to Petropars, which is a domestic gas producer. But even now, Iran says that its doors are open for India to come and invest in and develop this particular gas field. So this is another interest that India has in Iran. Apart from that, when we talk about Afghanistan, so India and Iran, they share same view on Afghanistan. Both the nations say that Afghanistan soil should not be used for terrorist activities. Therefore, both of them want peace and stability in the region. Now, just last month, पिछले ही महीने, all the countries which border Afghanistan and the regional countries had come in Tehran and discussed about security in Afghanistan. And in this particular meeting, India was not invited. Okay, India was not invited in this particular meeting, but India has decided to have a NSA level meeting on security issues in Afghanistan in the later part of this particular year. And in this NSA level talks, India has invited Iran because India does know that Iran shares a very big border with Afghanistan, and Iran is a very big player when it comes to maintaining peace and stability in Afghanistan. Okay, so therefore views on Afghanistan is where the ideas of both Iran and India converge. So these were the four areas predominantly where India's interest lies in Iran. Now we'll discuss इन दोनों देशों में conflict कहाँ पर होती है. So the first reason of conflict is the growing influence of China in Iran. Last year, Iran and China signed a 25-year strategic cooperation pact. Iran and China last year signed a 25-year strategic cooperation pact wherein they will cooperate on multiple issues ranging from political, economic and strategic components. Now, growing influence of China in Iran is of a big threat to India because India has done significant investment in Iran. We already know what has happened with the China-Pakistan economic corridor. Therefore, India does not want Chinese present on Iranian soil. So this is first conflict between these two nations. Apart from that, Israel-Iran tensions. Now, India has good relations with Israel. India has decent relations with Iran. But Israel and Iran do not share very good bond with each other. Israel has been an all-weather friend of India. जब भी India को ज़रूरत पड़ी है, at that point of time, Israel has stood up, be it with the military help, be it with the political help, or be it with diplomatic help. Israel has always stood for India. Therefore, if India goes closer to Iran, it might affect Israel. So therefore, India will think twice while having a balance between the relationship with these two nations. Apart from that, another clause is the USS CATSA law, which we all have been discussing, that the moment we start trade with Iran, USS CATSA law would come into picture, which may force sanctions on India as well. USA may threaten India with sanctions. So therefore, India thinks twice before restarting its trade with Iran. Apart from that, you have Iran supporting Houthi rebels. Now, India's stand on terrorism is very clear. India does not support any kind and any form of terrorism. But Iran has been supporting the Houthi rebels in Yemen who have been targeting Saudi Arabia and UAE. Just last year, we all know that drone strikes were made on in Saudi Arabia, wherein a lot of damage took place, and those drone strikes were done by the Houthi rebels. So India and Iran do have a conflict on this point because India does not support terrorism of any point, of any form. So these were the areas of conflict between India and Iran. Now, let's wait and watch on Friday that what these two leaders discuss, and how do India and Iran relations go to a next level in the coming days. So before ending the video, let me tell you something about SuperCoaching. It is one-stop solution brought to you by Testbook, wherein in one subscription, you will get access to mock tests, study notes, daily life classes and video courses. Apart from that, you get an opportunity to meet with our best teachers, and you get an opportunity to attend our daily life classes also. And all of this is available at a very, very affordable cost of rupees 3,000. But if you use my coupon code, which is Aakash, AAKASH, you get a 20% off, which means this entire coupon would be at rupees 2,400 rupees per month only. If you have enjoyed the session, please hit the like button, subscribe the channel and press the bell icon so you never miss an update from our end. Thank you.